just like that, we're over here on the bench. So now, I can hopefully talk to you better about what we're gonna be doing. So we have our railroad spike, right? And the first hatchet I did is I started upsetting and it didn't really go very smoothly. So halfway through starting the actual hatchet edge of it, I changed my process and just bent it over and then forged out what would be the blade on that. And I think it will work. I think what I did was salvageable, but I know I can do better. Even though I'm fairly new to it, I know I can do better. So what we're gonna do is I got that press, we're gonna do an upsetting. What that is it's gonna take this amount of material, give or take, and we're gonna smush it down smaller. So all this is gonna get condensed, this is gonna get a lot thicker, and then I'm gonna have more mass to deal with and manipulate over the anvil in a way that I want it to happen and occur. And then of course we are going to slit and drift. This, I'm going to cheat for you purists out there. I'm going to cheat and drill holes to help make sure my slit is straight versus coming across at an angle, and then it'll help me have a better chance of success through making this. So that's the process. That's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully you guys are excited about this. Hopefully this turns out really well. And I got some handles. Don't have a whole lot of dead tree carcass working materials, so I have some pre-bought handles, and I'll go grab one for you. Yeah, got some pre-bought. I do believe these are hickory. Yeah, I think these are hickory, but some pre-bought hatchet, and they're pre-made. You can see they got the teardrop on them, and they're also got a nice taper, because the way these work is just the momentum of you swinging it is what helps keep it on the handle itself. Now that's not to say that I maybe won't drill a hole through this and through here and throw a brass pin through it with maybe a little bit of epoxy to make sure it actually stays. Who knows? We'll see. I'll probably test it out outside. Sadly, I won't be able to bring you guys outside because I'm not sure the neighbors would really like their houses being on camera. So I'll test it out outside and then I'll show you guys, and if I'm confident of it inside, I'll show you how it holds up in here and whether or not we need to do a brass pin. That is subject to change. So anyways, I'm going to relight the forge, heat this up, and let's get to forging. Engage the safety squints. Finger protectors are also a good idea. I think what we're gonna do, and I think what ended up happening is kind of see how that got curled over. So I'm gonna grab a grinding wheel, we're gonna lop off the pointy part, and then we're gonna try it again. Two things. One, don't wear a hat on when you got your forge lit. It kind of gets a little toasty and your hair kind of starts to singe. Two, I don't think that's going to work. I think this is too skinny and too long for me to be able to use the press to do an upsetting process. So I'm going to have to tear the living crap out of my forearm, and we're going to have to try and do it the more traditional method. All right, show you guys the progress that we've made. Let me get on my little rolly stool here, now that I actually have that in here. So you can see how that is, and you can see how this is. I don't want to get too close to it because it is hot still, if the smoke rolling off it doesn't say anything. But yeah, we've definitely did some upsetting. We've made some progress. I feel comfortable at this point to start drawing this material out into the actual shape of our hatchet. And hopefully there's enough left here for me able to slit and drift this. A little worried about that, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We're learning. Mistakes happen, fail. First attempt in learning, right? So I'll start drawing this bad boy out. Alright, pardon the shirt. It's just something that I had and I wore it today, and I didn't change it for doing this after work. I wear hoodies and all that since I work outside, but sorry. You guys don't suck, you rock. What we got going on right now is the hatchet to be, or in the making, is rough forged in. It's sitting in the forge. I let it get it nice and hot. That last little shot that I showed you guys was it in there getting warmed up. Shut it down, close the forge off, so it can try and cool down as nice and slow as possible, was the idea behind de-stressing anything that's in the metal. I worked it once or twice, probably a bit colder than I should have. So I'm gonna try and alleviate any risks when we go to quench it and harden it and put a blade on it and all that fun stuff. Next step to do is actually going to be slitting and drifting it. I'm not gonna be able to do that tonight. I'm just getting a little late. I don't want to piss the neighbors off, you know, trying to be a little bit neighborly with a noisy habit and a noisy shop and loud music and yeah, just general obnoxiousness that I do really well at. Alright, so today's tomorrow and I got off early again, so we're gonna try and finish this video up or get close to finishing this video up tonight. So this is where we're at right now with the hatchet that we have made. She's rough forged in. It's not perfectly even from side to side. Hopefully y'all can see that. And then got a little straightening there, but I think that's all stuff that I'll be able to doll up grinding. But this is where we are at with this. But I wanted to show you guys the hatchet that I did make previously. At least the one successful one. It didn't fail on me and what's going to be the next process. But here it is. You can see it kind of has a nice longer blade on it, but I think the problem is all the force, like if you hit down here, this is going to act as a lever and it's going to be focused on this point. And you can kind of see, let's get in there. There you go. While I was forging it, I had a crack start. So I'm going to finish both of these. I'll probably grind them both at the same time. But I'll cut this out, I'll doll this up. But design-wise, not the best thing. Talked to a couple of people and that's kind of the thought process that we came up. And it is what it is. But this guy should be a bit more sturdy as long as we can hopefully get this slitted and drifted without any issues. So without further ado, I'm gonna go light the forge and we'll, actually I lied, we're not gonna light the forge yet. I'm gonna grab a drill, we're gonna cheap, drill some holes, then we'll light the forge, and then we'll get to slitting and drifting. I showed that to you guys in the last little bit. What we're going to do now, this is an actual, what's called a drift. This is going to give us our shape. I can't really see that rather that well, but it's kind of nice and round on this side, but comes to a point on this side. So what we want to do is we want to have the round side towards the front where the actual hatchet would be, so there's more mass and meat there to take any shocks that are given to it. And then it gives it a nice taper to transfer any of those forces down and back to what is the hammerhead. I don't think it's going to be used as a hammer that much, so that's why I don't have a problem with this. This is specifically a tomahawk drift, not a hammer drift or anything like those. I haven't done any research on what those. This was one of the ones that I bought that was pre-made. I did not make this. If I remember correctly, I bought it from Centaur Forge. So any smiths that are wondering where I got this from, that's where I got it from. That's what I drifted that other one with. We're going to do the same thing here, except for we're going to start over the anvil, and I'm going to drift it to about there on the anvil. Probably shouldn't show you guys. Be about that far, drift it through that. And then once we get to that point, we'll go back over to the leg vise, and we'll drift it the rest of the way. We don't want to go all the way through, because if you look at the top of this and you look at this, the very thickest part of this is about the same size as this handle. I don't want to go all the way through, because what secures these is the momentum of the head sliding or wanting to slide this way is what tightens it up against the handle. And I was kind of talking about that earlier. So we're going to get that heated up and we're going to start drifting it. Alright, so we got that on the anvil. She's cooling down. She's pretty straight. So hopefully we'll get any other imperfections out. I know that the eye hole is crooked in orientation to the blade. With these being fairly round, I hope it won't feel too unnatural when you're swinging it, because if it's a little cockeyed, you're going to swing it at a weird angle, or it's going to want to hit at a weird angle compared to the way it feels in your hand. So we'll see how that goes. No guarantees. It's my first try. Well, second-ish. But I'm going to grab the grinder. We're going to clean this bad boy up, do some file work on her, and at least get this where I want it. I did a little bit of filing here to get rid of that nastiness, but now I got to smooth her out. So I got the thicker grinding wheel on, and we'll get her dolled up and looking as best as we can, and we'll try and quench this one Same time we quench the other one. Alright, quick little introduction to the grinding. Just figured I'd kind of show you this. I don't know how well y'all can see it. Yeah, let me grab something to point with here because that's hot. So as I'm learning and I'm progressing, one of the things I've figured out, or I should say was taught to me by a YouTube video, I wish I could remember where it was, but you kind of see the color change up here. It's really noticeable. Can we get close enough? Yeah, right about there, it's a nice blue, and then you can kind of go up and you see it's almost a black. I can tell it's not, but right there we got a blue, and then it kind of goes to a purple, and then it slowly goes to kind of this straw hue, and then down to normal steel. I still wouldn't touch that, but right around here, if I remember correctly, about 300 degrees or so, and then as we go up, right around there is 400, and then once we get to the blue, I do believe that's about 500 degrees. So just a quick little tidbit if you're ever grinding on something and you're curious on what the temperature is, that's a way for you to learn. Let's see if I can, I don't know if that helps. Let me know if that helped at all. It kind of looks better on camera, but yeah. So I was hoping to finish this yesterday, but it didn't happen. I ended up losing the camera, and I was like, well, I'll just call it quits for now. Let's continue tomorrow. So it's tomorrow again, day 3, however you want to look at it. We got these bad boys. I call this rough grinding. It's just where I get it to this point with an angle grinder. So that's kind of where we're at. Talk a little bit. That eyelet is not perfectly centered, but she ain't bad either. And I think I got better on this from side to side. It's a little bit thicker on this side than it is on this one. So I'll try and grind this out so I can create the illusion that I did it right. Versus this one, you can clearly see that we were, oh, there we go. Clearly see we're a bit thinner. We're still gonna get these both all done up. I'll get these rough ground and probably some more 46 on the belt sander, that guy right there, and then I got an 80 grit on there. We'll get them dulled up. I'm not going to worry about heat on them. What I mean by that is just like in my last video, I was holding the blade with my bare hands, and there's a reason for it, so I could feel the temperature of what I was working. And I didn't want to start to temper back the hardening process that I went through when I made that other knife. So yeah, I'm gonna put in my ear hole protectors, throw on my safety squints, and we'll get to making this a little more shiny. Quick little interrupt. We'll get real quick to the fun stuff, but I just want to let you guys know I'm having to swap over to a flapper wheel, or yeah, that's not the right term. I can't think of it right now, but we're gonna swap over to this type of grinding disc. It's a little softer, spongier. We'll still remove some metal. We'll smooth it up a bit, but due to the limitations of my cruddy belt sander, we are having to go to this because I want to get this a little bit more cleaned up, but I still kind of retain that hand forged look. So I got the bevels, I won't pull that one out, but I got our bevels rough ground in. It ain't the prettiest yet, but we're getting there. This one won't need as much tension as my first one, but in certain areas, can you see that? Yeah, certain areas like underneath here, I really can't get to. So I'm gonna hit it with this. I'm not gonna record it, but I just figured I'd let you tell you. Next thing that we're gonna do after I get these flapped up is we're going to go to the heat quench, or the heat treat, and the hardening. So, a little point to you. All right, so here we are. Took the little flapper wheel, got them cleaned up a bit more, rounded out the back side of this so she's a bit smoother. Got a bit more of an edge on this one than what I wanted to. I wanted to rough in the bevels. I didn't actually want to put an actual edge on it, but it is what it is. I just got to be careful not to slice myself on that. But there's that one. Here's this one. Hey, this one's warm. Wasn't warm when I was holding it in my gloves. Not too bad. Definitely an improvement from version A to version B. So, forge is warming up, and then here shortly I'm going to throw these in there, and we will go and do the whole quenching and flames and smoke and coolness. Framing, you idiot. Alright, so we got the quench done. She's still a little toasty, so there's a rag between the glove and me and all that fun stuff. Let's see how well she took the hardening process. I got a file here. It should skate across it. And I don't know how well you can hear that. Not really biting into it at all. A little bit, but I just think that's taking off any carbon that's left on there from the oil. But yeah. Sweet. Well, they work. One, in my opinion, definitely works better than the other, and it's also the one that I did better at. Now what we're gonna do here real quick, I haven't really done this before, it's something new. Maybe you guys can tell me whether or not you like it. Let me know down in the jazz hand, angry section, whatever you wanna call it. All right, so we'll talk about the first one that I made off camera, and they're warm still, because I just blackened them and I had problems with torches and fire in general. I had to use the forge, so it's not as even of a burn on the handle as I wanted. I just wanted the dark grains. Might try to do something to clean that up. But let's talk about the actual forging and less about the handle and fire. So right off the bat, I don't know how you guys can see it. This blade's a little crooked, okay? The hammer side, I think, came out pretty well. And then I can see a little bit of a gap right there. Can I get it to where you guys can do it? See it? No, maybe not. But there's a gap right there. The fit up top is okay, not great. Other thing that I'll notice, or that you'll notice, here, hold on. Be 10% smarter about this, huh? Okay, I'm holding her straight up and down. Hopefully it's crooked in the handle and head itself, like this. Real professional, Tony. Good job. There we go. Yeah, you can see it right there pretty well on the camera. And then when I was heat treating it, the heat treat went well, but the problem was is then I went in front of the forge after I heat treated it and I didn't let it cool down. And you remember I was talking to you earlier about the colors. I only wanted this to get to this like nice straw color, and a couple of spots here on the tip, right here and right there, got to purple. I didn't want to get there. I wanted to get to the straw. And then the hammer side, I don't think that, I ain't too worried about that. So that's that one. This is the one that my first attempt at it. Sorry, I'm adjusting the stool here. And then, again, fit isn't perfect, but these are Tomahawks. They're not supposed to be a real snug fit, not like a hammer or a hatchet. So you're gonna have some play, and that's why I said that when you're throwing it, it tightens up on the top side here. Now there's two things that I'm gonna do to help try and make sure it's a little bit more snug. Actually, I'm only gonna do one because I don't know if I wanna try to risk splitting this because I already had some issues on the other handle. But I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna find some way to dip this head at least into about here in oil. I might even just use my quench tank and let this shaft soak up all that oil so it swells a little bit, and it'll never dry out. So then I just gotta pull it off, clean it off, and be good to go. And this will be somebody's at some point. Who knows, maybe I'll keep it. But now we'll go on to the one that I'm a little bit more happier with how it turned out. It's not perfect. I don't like how, I tried to forge it where I had a nice flat, where it'd come across flat. Well, we ended up getting a little bit of a downward angle on the way it sits with the handle here. And this, the blade itself, I tried fixing it with a grinder. She's a bit thick on one side, but not too bad. I mean, second try. I like how this curve came out. There's a couple of flat spots, but like I was saying earlier, my belt grinder kind of sucks. And the other thing that's a little wonky with this one, let's see, I'll move the camera here a bit. See how the hammer head itself, it's got a little bit of twist to it? Yeah. But happy how these all came out. It was fun. I'm probably gonna make more of these because, like I said, it was fun. Tell me what you guys think. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your opinions? Let's talk down below and get a conversation going. You guys like these? You want to see me make more stuff like this? Let me know what maybe ideas for the next project. I have a few rolling around in the old noggin, but it's later at night. I'm running on a 6 out of 8 cylinders, so who knows. But yeah, I really like this one. I'm definitely gonna make one of these, at least for me, because or 3, and make a board game in my backyard if I can ever learn to throw one. Yeah. So like, comment, share. I try not to say that at the end of the videos, but I'm trying to get you guys to get us talking here a little bit here, and let me know your thoughts, good, bad, in between. Get your jazz hand routine, like I said earlier on, in the comment section, angry section, whichever you want to call it. Depends on who I piss off this week. And you guys get out to your shop. You guys, you know, your art room, whatever it is, whatever craft or hobby you have, get out and do there and have some fun. At least an hour a day if you can do it, 30 minutes, anything you can do. Try to have some fun. It's a great way to de-stress and have a good time. Y'all take it easy. Don't work too hard.